Many of you are already familiar with the format for Cornell Notes, but few of you understand the science behind them. This video is to help both students who are experienced and those that are new to Cornell Notes. Researchers at Cornell University designed Cornell Notes as a way to help students move information from short-term to long-term memory. Many people, myself included, have crammed for a test. We did hours of study in one shot just before an exam, took the test, passed it, and yet lost all recall as we walked out of the classroom. Completing your notes in one sitting will accomplish the same thing, but if you will follow my suggestions, you will do the same amount of work but receive multiplied rewards. So let's take a look at the format and how you work through it. You will divide your paper into 3 parts. First, draw a line across the bottom of your page about 5 lines from the bottom. Next, use your fingers to determine the placement of the horizontal line. If you have a larger hand, draw your line about the width of 3 fingers from the left edge of your paper. If you have a smaller hand, use a 4-finger width. The line starts at the top printed line on your paper and ends on the line you drew at the bottom. This larger area is for your notes. As your instructor or the video discusses important information, write key information in the large section. If a video puts words up on the screen, it is a clue that you need to write the information. Add details as needed, but do not take time to write information that you will remember. As your brain remembers key information, much of the details will naturally follow. This is like pulling information from a filing cabinet. You don't have to pull every paper if you have them grouped into file folders. Find the folder and the papers come with it. You have now finished the first portion, so let's move to another activity for a while. Take a break, work on another assignment, watch a TV show, and then come back for part 2. This time you will look over the information you wrote in the large section and create questions that you might see on a test. Write your test questions on the left in the smaller section. Make these good questions. You are more likely to see something like, "What are the 5 levels of communication?" than "How many levels of communication are they?" When you've finished, take another break. Then come back for the third portion. You're going to look at your questions and highlight, circle, or find another way to mark information that helps you answer your questions. Be selective. Do not highlight everything, just critical information. And then, you guessed it, take another break. When you return, you will complete the final part of your notes, the summary. Many students have the misconception that a summary is one sentence. A summary is simply a shorter version of the original. It is not limited to one sentence. Write a summary of the information covered and use all the highlighted words in your summary. Summaries should be written as, "The 5 levels of communication are," because it is not helpful to write, "I learned about 5 levels of communication." The first example will help your brain recall critical information for your test. The second is not helpful. A good summary should be written so that someone who is absent when you took notes could read your summaries and learn something to at least get some of the answers right on a test. If you completed the process in these steps with breaks in between, your brain has been exposed to the information numerous times. This creates the impression in your brain that the information is important. As it clears its immediate and short-term memory, the brain has to decide what might be important and what is unimportant. Information that it repeatedly encounters becomes more important and is more likely to move into long-term memory. If you encounter this information in one sitting, your brain is more likely to trash the information. Another advantage to Cornell Notes is that you can fold your paper back along the vertical line. This creates a study guide, kind of like flashcards. You can quiz yourself over the information and then check your answers. A third advantage is if your instructor suddenly announces a pop quiz, you can quickly scan your notes for the highlighted information and trigger information in your brain. A fourth advantage, that you can also read your summaries to reactivate the information.